Ethan was not like other children. Ever since he was 7 years old, he could hear something nobody else could hear. Whenever he walked past someone, he heard a faint whisper, not from their mouths, not from their thoughts, but from somewhere deep inside them. At first, the whispers confused him. A smiling teacher would walk by, and he would hear, "I wish I had spent more time with my daughter." A successful businessman would pass him and whisper, "I should have followed my dream instead of chasing money." An old woman feeding birds in the park would whisper, "I never told him I loved him." The whispers were always the same thing: regrets, the things people wished they had done differently. As Ethan grew older, the whispers became louder and heavier. By the time he was 16, Ethan could barely walk through a crowded street. Every person carried regrets, thousands of them. The city sounded like an endless storm of sadness. "I should have apologized. I should have stayed. I should have left. I wasted so much time. I was too afraid." The worst part wasn't hearing them. It was knowing that most people carried their regrets in silence. They smiled, they laughed, they acted normal. But inside, many were haunted by choices they could never change. Ethan began avoiding people. The whispers made him feel helpless. Until one day, everything changed. One rainy afternoon, Ethan noticed an old man sitting alone on a park bench. As he walked past him, he heard the loudest regret he had ever heard. It wasn't a whisper. It was almost a cry. "I wasted my entire life waiting for the perfect moment." Ethan stopped. The old man stared at the rain, motionless, broken. For some reason, Ethan sat beside him. Neither spoke for several minutes. Then Ethan finally asked, "Waiting for what?" The old man's eyes widened. "How did you know?" Ethan didn't answer. The man looked down. "I spent my whole life waiting to start my business, waiting to travel, waiting to write my book, waiting to tell people how I felt." He gave a bitter laugh. "And now I'm 83. The rain continued to fall. I kept thinking there would always be more time." The old man reached into his coat pocket. He pulled out a small notebook. The pages were yellow and worn. Inside were hundreds of ideas, dreams, plans, stories, adventures, a life that had never been lived. The man handed the notebook to Ethan. "Do you know what regret really is?" Ethan shook his head. The old man smiled sadly. "Regret isn't failure. It's the life you never gave yourself permission to live." Those words stayed with Ethan long after the rain stopped, long after the old man walked away. That night, Ethan lay in bed, thinking about everything he had heard throughout his life. Millions of regrets, different people, different stories, yet they all seemed connected. Most regrets weren't about failure. People regretted the chances they never took, the words they never said, the dreams they never started, the love they never expressed, the risks they were too afraid to take. For the first time, Ethan realized something. Regret wasn't created by mistakes. It was created by fear. Years passed. Ethan became an adult. He learned to live with his strange gift. One day, while walking through the city, he suddenly stopped. For the first time in his life, he heard a whisper he recognized, his own. Soft, familiar, painfully clear. "I spent so much time listening to other people's lives that I forgot to live my own." Ethan stood frozen. The realization hit him like lightning. All those years, all those warnings, all those lessons. And yet he had been making the same mistake. Watching life instead of living it. Learning instead of doing. Waiting instead of acting. The next morning, Ethan did something he had never done before. He stopped listening. He stopped worrying. He stopped waiting for certainty. Instead, he called the people he loved, started the project he had been postponing, took the trip he had always dreamed about, and finally began living. Years later, as an old man, Ethan sat on a park bench watching the sunset. Thousands of people walked past him. For the first time, there were no whispers, no regrets, only peace. Because he had learned the lesson hidden inside every voice he had ever heard. The biggest regret in life is not failing. It's spending so much time waiting that your life passes by before you ever begin. Like, share, and follow for more life-changing stories.